When it comes to a lot of gacha games, I have so many issues with a lot of them. Off the top of my head, Honkai Star Rail, I don't like the gameplay. Zenless Zone Zero is just too clunked up with a TV mode. Genshin Impact is Genshin Impact, it's okay. Infinity Nikki shouldn't even be a fucking gacha game. Yeah, there's just a lot of points, but there's one game which I started very recently that has just changed my perspective on this industry and has given me so much hope for gaming as a whole. And that is Wuthering Waves. This game, like, struck my heart almost instantly with a myriad of reasons, and as I kept playing, the more I started loving the game. It wasn't like this one first hour like bliss where I was like having, okay, it's only fun for like the first hour, fun until you get to pull and then you finish pulling. Oh my god. It is completely not the case, and in this video I want to go on a massive like deep dive on what I enjoy about the game and what it does right compared to other games. I don't want to like start any drama about other games. I just want to talk about Wuthering Waves exclusively and, you know, why I like it so much. I'm gonna feed! I want to feed it, I want to feed it. Can I feed it? Let me feed you. Oh, you're getting the best food. Nom, nom, nom. Without further ado, if you do like this video, please do like and comment and subscribe, and, you know, I want to hear your thoughts. I want to know everything you have to say as well. Not just listening to me, because your opinion matters as well. The first thing I want to talk about is like the graphics. The graphics in this game are so well made, and it's the perfect blend of like this realistic nature to this blend of like sci-fi type of aesthetic, like this modern sci-fi aesthetic. And these environments are like so well combined to the point where I feel like this is one of the only games where I can just walk around and do nothing. Like there's these areas where the sky at night, the sky at night everywhere looks so gorgeous and it's so well made, and I have such high praise for any artist that went into making that, any designer, whoever coded it, all of that, whoever made those skies, that's my biggest praise. But let's talk about the other things like the nature. The trees in this game don't look like fantasy trees, and that is what sets it apart from Genshin Impact, I'd say. This game has like a way more realistic nature. Like, if you look at the water quality in the game, the water is gorgeous, the beaches are gorgeous, the trees, like, all these natural things are just really, like, realistic in a really good way. And the way the environments blend, just, it's so perfect. But the environments couldn't blend together without music, and that is my next point. The music in this game is actually astronomical. Like, whether I'm fighting or exploring around, the music always encapsulates like the moment so well. And the fighting music in this game, I can't get over the fighting music. The fighting music in this game is probably the best out of any game I've ever played. Like, it's not like Genshin Impact's like very like less modern like music. Wuthering Waves just takes it to a whole nother level. You know, you have electric guitars, you have these like drums, you have like these really intense music every time you're fighting, and it captures the moment perfectly. Wuthering Waves is like the only game where I haven't turned the music off to play my own, because the game's music itself is like, it's enough for me to be like, you know what, I don't have to use my own music. Obviously, if I'm playing for like months and months and months, the music may slowly start getting like more repetitive over time, but as it is right now, I'm not changing it, and I don't need my own music over it. The only thing I have against like the music is sometimes when I'm like trying to explore and like I'm listening to this peaceful music, I'll run past an enemy and then the song just changes completely as if I'm gonna fight that enemy, and then it just weirdly blends in. But that's kind of partly my fault for running into the enemy in the first place, so there's nothing like, I can't really like hate on the game for that, can I? Absolutely not. And this nature design, this like attention to detail, I'd say, I think the attention to detail shows that there's so much passion in the development process of this game that it's like unbelievable. Like the passion that I see, like the experience I get when I'm just walking around doing whatever, I love it so much, and it is my favorite. Like it beats Genshin Impact for me when it comes to exploring the nature and exploring the environments. Like the environments in Wuthering Waves, the skies, they are so much prettier. I think Wuthering Waves is probably the best gacha game that was ever like at the state of update 1.4. If you look at Genshin Impact 1.4, it doesn't compare to this game. Look at Honkai Star Rail 1.4, it doesn't compare to this game. And, you know, on Zenless we're kind of like getting there. But this game has so much to offer, and that's what I want to talk about. One thing that caught me off guard so severely was the voice actor diversity in this game. As a British person myself, I really rarely hear like United Kingdom accents in gaming, right? Especially gacha games, they usually tend to go for like American voice actors. But like in this game, when I heard like all the British voices, like Shorekeeper, Lumi's the best example because
we promise, we deliver. Lolo Logistics is at your service. Is there anything I can help you?
Having a Scottish character in a gacha game that's like anime based, I would never expect it in a million years. And when I heard her voice for the first time, I was so shocked in like the best way possible. I loved it so much because if it just feels like this game supports voice actors from both, like any country. Like they don't just cherry pick America like Genshin Impact does for the most part. At one point, we all got used to like the characters having American accents, and then you've got a character like Shorekeeper, which has the most British woman accent I've ever heard.
Perhaps the answer is hidden within.
I don't know, it's just so like amazing to see. And of course, they all did amazing jobs. None of their voices sound forced. They don't have like this weird like mommy voice. I really do appreciate that. And when it comes to the story, I am not the best with interpreting story. But the story right now, from what I've seen, played and watched, because I've more watched the entire story rather than played it all for myself. So I can't really comment on that, and I really do apologize for that. But I have seen all the cutscenes so far. I haven't watched like a cutscene video. I've done basically all the quests, and I've seen all the quests. Doing quests in this game is more fun than doing quests in literally any other gacha game I've ever played. It feels like every time I do the main quest, I'm always doing something different. Whether that's doing a puzzle, going out fighting. It doesn't feel like I'm just sitting there watching through dialogue for like 2 hours, skipping between 18 different characters before then getting to some climax and then fighting a boss like a lot of gacha games do. And part of me really appreciates that. And the effort put into the gameplay, the design, and one thing I do want to cherry pick is like that one little segment with the very like Portal 2 coded puzzles. I love that so much. And you know, ever since I was younger, like when I was really young, obviously I'm not old or anything, when I was younger I loved playing Portal 2 and like solving all the puzzles on there. The game is magnificent and I love how it just took that from him. Now, for good exploration, there needs to also be a very good incentive to do so, and that is where the data bank system comes in. But before that, I am going to talk about quickly the exploration rewards themselves, like getting chests, unlocking towers, solving puzzles. Doing all of these things just gives you so much, alright? And it gives you so much XP as well, that it's like really fun. But that's like the very, very small part of it. I want to talk about the data bank system. If you don't know, the data bank system is like where all your echoes go, which are essentially like the artifacts of this game. And every time you collect an echo, it levels up your databank, and you can find these echoes by killing irregular enemies in the world, right? I'm not sure exactly how it works, but I know you can get it just exploring throughout the world. And when you kill these enemies, there's a chance, or you know, sometimes I think it's guaranteed, that you will be able to absorb them and use them as an echo. And this like gives like a kind of like a Pokemon aesthetic thing, where the more different enemies you kill, or the more enemies in general you kill, the more you can absorb and collect. And the higher level your databank is, which gives you more rewards and more stamina, which also is really important, as in this game stamina is like really only important for combat, and being able to, you know, do more stuff in combat at a time is really useful. The rewards are generous, and when you level up your databank, you also get access to higher tier echoes at the same time, so the incentive to explore is always there. There's also like exploration rewards you can get, I'm pretty sure. Like, it is very, very diverse, and to be fair, it could literally get its like entire own video. But what you need to know is that the exploration is worth it. There's a massive incentive to do it. Like, the incentive to do it is just always there for me. And I feel like I can explore for hours, even if I don't want to like grind. I feel like I can just like run around because the environment's so beautiful and the game is just so pretty, and like it's such an immersive world. And it's like I know I'm glazing it, but like actually it is such a magnificent world. Like I could literally walk around while I'm just in bed, and I could literally fall asleep to that, because that's how just beautiful the game is and calming. Like, exploring in that game has been the most cozy experience I've had in the game in ages. I'm kind of diverting too much on this one point. Exploration is wonderful in this game, and if you're the kind of person who likes to, you know, explore everything, complete puzzles, which are really good. Puzzles in this game are really good. They're not some like you have to spot how many things are on the ground to calculate it. No, the puzzles in this game are like actual puzzles. And doing them is very fun. So if you're a person who likes a lot of puzzles and likes exploring a lot for really good and worth it rewards, 100% try it Wuthering Waves. But the truth is, rewards aren't everything. A game can have insane rewards in certain amounts of pools, but if it's fundamentally a bad game, at the end of the day, the retention won't span. Luckily, Wuthering Waves does not apply to the big rewards, bad gameplay category. It has good rewards and amazing gameplay. The next thing I want to talk about is combat. Combat is essential in any game with this type of genre where you switch between characters to fight. With bad combat, you're not going to want to pull for characters, you're not going to want to have like the incentive to go around, explore and collect stuff and fight stuff. But with this game, I must say I am really enjoying the combat, even though I haven't found a character where I feel like their playstyle is just like my type of thing, other than like Changli, but I don't even have Changli. However, Camillea's playstyle is very fun, even though it's not like perfect for me, because I do like a little bit more mobility. I think her playstyle is amazing, and to me the combat has so much potential with, you know, the dodge countering, the parrying. Those mechanics are huge to me, and if they are in a game, I am going to want to try them out. And in this game, they are done pretty well, especially if you're fighting one opponent only. If you're fighting multiple opponents, the parry mechanic can get a bit, you know, interesting. But so far as I've played with one enemy, it is perfect. The combat just takes the game to a whole nother level for me, and I can't wait to see all the ways it will be expanded upon, and all the new characters and everything, you know. One thing I do also want to talk about is the ecosystem. Now, if you don't know, the ecosystem is like, you know, if you played Genshin Impact, that's the artifacts, that's the relics of Honkai Star Rail, if anything. In other gacha games, these things are just like stat sticks where they just buff a stat, they just increase like some stat or some form of damage. However, in this game, that is true apart from one. And there is one you can choose, and that one that you choose will be an ability on field where you will like kind of morph into it and perform some form of ability, whether it's attacking, you know, giving a shield or healing, anything like that. Now this matched with like the whole having to explore and find them kind of mechanic thing we're going on. It is very reminiscent of Pokemon, and I do really like them, even though obviously it's not like really the same thing at all. I really do enjoy it, you know, the whole databank thing, leveling that up while getting better, you know, rarity echoes, which then deal more damage, do more support for your character, and it's such a really nice way of developing your character's damage and a nice way of leveling up and progressing that I just can't leave this video without talking about it. One thing I don't see anyone talking about at all when it comes to games is their optimization. When it comes to any game, the optimization, the compatibility, all of that is really important, especially when it comes to like the more technical sided people who play games, who want the best experience possible and care about higher frame rates, care about higher refresh rates. And a lot of these gacha games are missing that. They're missing like to be able to go past like 68 frames for some reason. I don't know why this is still a thing. Like, these games need to kind of learn to move on. But Wuthering Waves changes that completely. It has a dedicated 120Hz support mode where you get 120 frames, and in my opinion, that is enough. Even though I have a 240Hz monitor, I only really want 240 FPS when I'm playing like these really intense FPS games. I don't really need to have 240 frames when I'm playing a game that's about collecting and exploring and just having really cool visuals. I don't really want to sacrifice quality for performance on there, which I don't. The 120 FPS mode works fine 90% of the time, because my PC is also a bit weird. But even though my PC is really weird, the optimizations are really well done on this game. It feels like, especially in indoor environments, the game doesn't hitch. The game doesn't get like these weird like loading visual bugs, and the frame rate stays consistent, and it never feels like the performance is hindering my game, which is what happens to me like 90% of the time with other games, where I just feel like the performance kind of drops down for me because it's like really weirdly unoptimized. And when that happens, I just don't feel like playing. Like, it happens a lot on Genshin. It happens on, let's say, Zelda Zone Zero. I don't really know about Star Rail. I don't care enough about frames on Star Rail. I just play it for the animations and it's cool, and the rewards, all of that. But as I'm seeing right now, Wuthering Waves is a really nicely optimized game, and it runs flawlessly. I don't have to make sacrifices or compromise my quality for the sake of the performance like I do with other games. This game looks beautiful. It looks more beautiful than any other gacha game I've ever played, and it is the most optimized, and I don't have to like compromise the quality anymore. Speaking about the game itself, why is like the lighting quality, all of this just so nice and realistic? I think I've already talked about this at the start, but I want to mention it again, especially with the lighting. I never covered the lighting really. The lighting in this game is done like it's realistic. I've noticed the lighting in this game is realistic, and it really helps the world like come alive in a way. It's such a weird comparison to make. When it comes to the music, the graphics, the lighting, the voice acting, the sound effects, the music, all of this stuff makes the game come to life for me, and it makes it seem like it's this amazing experience which is crammed into one game where I don't have to play different games to get different experiences. This game has it all for me. And sure, there might be some little inconveniences I get with the game, some things I don't really appreciate, like some kind of bugs or like some kind of like weird mechanic, but the game is in 1.4, meaning that anything could literally get updated, and in my opinion it is genuinely too soon to tell if the game's inconveniences actually matter, because they could be gone next update or the update after that easily. When I see a lot of people talk about this game, they always talk about, why should I play this over Genshin Impact? This game is just like a Genshin Impact knockoff. It's just Genshin Impact but slightly worse. And I want to kind of say no. If anything, to me, it is a side grade. Both games are really good in their own ways to me. But this video isn't about Genshin Impact, it's about Wuthering Waves. And the reason I think it's not a cheap knockoff is because you can tell that this game, even though it took a lot of systems from Genshin Impact and other gacha games, it still is its own and amazing game. Like, it's not like everything is copied over. The game is its own game, and I couldn't appreciate it more. When you go around just exploring the world and all these interesting places, you notice that there is passion in that development team, and there is people who are extremely talented. Anyone who came together in that design team, whoever coded like the lighting, all this, designed everything, I want to say thank you, like, because like you've made a game that is free, that is genuinely like amazing. Even as a free-to-play player, I am basically free to play. I mean, like today I bought like the subscription for $5 a month, but I only bought that because I want to show the game some support, right? It deserves the $5 a month because the game's free, and I think that it's a good boost, even though it is not necessary at all. Like, I got my first 5-star character now off the limited banner, and as of now I don't think I've put in too much investment into the game. I don't think I've had to sacrifice a lot of my time to grind for a character. I've just been playing the game on and off here and there whenever I can, and the rewards have been like actually in my face, and they've been so wonderful. So would I call this game free to play friendly? I would absolutely call this game free to play friendly, because you can get rewards from basically almost anything. Even cooking, you can get rewards from doing that. And I understand might not be everyone's cup of tea, but don't say that until you've tried the game. This game, I'm not going to stop talking about how beautiful it is. This game has literally made me, like, midway through exploration, if it's nighttime especially, I'll just like look up into the sky and just take a random moment to like pause and reflect on my life. As stupid as that sounds, the game is that beautiful that like, I just pause in the moment, and I never do that with games. I never do that with games. I am too caught up in a lot of stuff to care about taking a little break to like admire what's going on around me. But this game changes it for me completely. If I'm honest with you, I have never ever done this in a game outside of Minecraft and Grand Theft Auto 5. GTA 5 is, because it's like amazing, obviously it's peak game. Minecraft is amazing, but a lot of the time with Minecraft it's more about the nostalgia and the music that really catches me off guard. Grand Theft Auto is just like also nostalgia, but like the effect the game had on me in general is just too much to handle. I might even talk about it one day, not even on this channel probably, because it's not a gacha game, or maybe I'll make it a members only video. But that's probably going to be the end of this video. All I wanted to say is this game is amazing, and I wanted to give some reasons why. If you do not agree with any of my points, please let me know in the comments, and if you did agree with my points, please let me know. I want to know your thoughts, any points that you think I've missed. And if you want to add on to it, add on to it. If you want to criticize my points, go for it. Be respectful, please. And yeah, there would be for liking and subscribing stuff. Yeah. Wow, this video was long to make.